welcome everybody to another video on US Vaquero. Today we'll be talking about the Ruger 1022 and why it has such legendary reliability. We'll only be going over a few aspects of this firearm today. But anyways, let's get started with the video. The first thing that makes a Ruger 1022 impressive is the cold hammer forged barrel and the simple receiver. This receiver is just a square receiver. It's really simple, really thin, really strong, made in America. Can't go wrong with it. Now, the reason I listed those two features first was because those two features are features that are common among other high quality or reliable 22. The next set of features, or I'm pretty much explain the feeding and extracting process, or the feeding, firing, and extracting process, and why that is superior on the 1022 compared to many other semi-automatic 22 firearms you can find out there. And I'm using simple tools to explain. But anyways, the first thing that makes a Ruger 1022 so reliable is the feed. The feed is highly reliable. So this is a Ruger 1022 box mag. That's how the ammo looks going out of it. But anyways, this ammunition, you have to clear one round, as you guys just, I believe, saw right there. I don't know if you guys seen that on the video, but one round has to clear before the next round is set in place. This is highly important because it makes double feeding almost impossible in the 1022, and it pretty much eliminates the issue of double feeding by using a box mag that places the second round only after the first round has been removed. And that's a huge advantage because it means you're highly unlikely to get 2 rounds stuck in your receiver for whatever reason. So that's the first part, is the feeding. It's extra reliable on the Ruger 1022. The second part that's extra reliable on the Ruger 1022 is the rest of the feeding and the firing process. So when a Ruger 1022 bolt slides over, it grabs a round. This is a fired casing, by the way, if you're wondering why it doesn't have a head on it. So pretty much this without the head. Yeah, it's just pretty much a bullet I stuck up on there. But anyways, this holds the bullet fairly well. I believe it's control round feed. Correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like it, but it's probably not. But anyways, when this controls the feeding process, feeds the bullet in, then we have this hammer right here. Now, if you guys can see it, the hammer is the piece that I'm flipping up and down. It's quite a huge hammer. It rides the entire spine over here of the bolt all the way up until the front. Now, if you see up here, see if I can find that, the rim of the case is sitting inside the face of the bolt. So the rim is under there. The firing pin only fires up to where the rim is situated. So now you can see the rim on this side, but as you can see, the rim is covered on this side. And the moment the rim is hit, the cartridge itself flies out because it's pretty much fires within this contained little cavity or notch. What does that mean? What does all that rambling mean? It means you can dry fire, the 1022, making it an exceptional ability among 22 rim fires. And it's accomplished with the fact that the rim sits inside the bolt and not outside the bolt, and the fact that the hammer doesn't fire past it. And it also helps that the hammer or the firing pin is a slate, or it's a piece of metal. It's not even really a firing pin because it's a slate. It's a firing slate, in my opinion. um, so there is that, and then the last part that makes the Ruger 1022 so reliable is the extraction process, or the not the extraction process, the ejection process. Now, the Ruger 1022 has two ejectors. The first one being on the trigger group itself, and we might as well get that one out of the way so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Let me just put the ejector where it belongs. But anyways, see if I'm getting this correctly. But the Ruger 1022 bolt, once fires, goes back, and there you go, ejected shell. Now, this is made for when you don't have a magazine. This is the ejector right there. It's made for when you don't have a magazine inside the chamber. The cool thing, now these break on other guns. They break on almost any gun. The ejector does. In some guns, they're clearly more likely to break than others, but it is a piece of the firearm that's constantly being used and under pressure, and you can see it when you go to take your gun apart. When you study it, you see that it has wear and tear on it all the time, or it's at least dirty. But now, what makes the 1022 so exceptional is that every magazine, every Ruger factory mag has these notches up here. So that's one on this side and that one on that side, if you guys can see that. So one notch over here and one notch over there. Now, what these do is they give your gun another distractor. Even better, it makes it so that your firearm is never using the trigger group extractor unless you're not using a magazine. So any other time, or any time you do have a magazine on there, the magazine sits on top of the bolt. Bolt comes, clearly takes a round away, but then the bolt's going to come back, and as you can see, the magazine slides all the way up until right here. Why right here? Because right there is where the bottom notches start to make contact with our casing. So once it rides up to about right there, it ejects the round out of here. And it does that by way of these two notches, meaning that the Ruger 1022 has two ejectors instead of one when using a Ruger box mag. It's important to get a box mag with the metal lips. You definitely want the metal lips on this firearm to keep that reliability. Any mag you get should have metal lips. I see that people encourage problems with this firearm when using third-party magazine makers or third-party manufacturers. I highly recommend getting ones with steel lips or metal lips, because it does give this firearm extra reliability. But that's all for today. Just a quick educational video explaining on why the Ruger 1022 is far more reliable, or tends to be more reliable than most offerings out in market. Now, there's a lot of things here you can upgrade. The barrel, for example, can be fluted, and it can be floated, and stainless steel. Same goes for the receiver. But as far as the technical, the action itself, it's pretty hard to beat a Ruger 1022 action. So when you spend the extra money on getting extra features for your 1022, you're basically paying for a nicer barrel, a nicer receiver, because the action, it's something you don't want to really touch in this weapon. It's kind of perfect the way it is. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them. That's about it for this video. Catch you guys on the next